Hi, if you're watching this video, is because you are interested in the shenanigan that the Board of Election put together every year in knocking off candidate running for different position. So in this video, we're going to show how the Board of Election is really at the hand of party leadership, and they apply one rule when you're a regular person, another rule when you're a regular person with a lawyer, or totally different rule when you're the son of the Democratic Party leader. And in this case, we had two petitions that had the same exact problem, and the party leadership that worked for the Board of Election is clearly trying to defend and protect the party leadership.
There is a in-person appearance, is my understanding, by Michael Hanno.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Michael Hanno. New York 55, objection 55. If you look at that, excuse me, it was filed against Jonathan M. Brown by Jordan Wright, W-R-I-G-H-T.
Sir, is this on our prima facie calendar? Because that's what we're doing right now. Or is it
Well,
on
that's
our
just the
specific-
issue. He did the same thing that I did, attached his proof of service to he attached his proof of service to his
Sir.
specs, but he's not on the prima facie.
Okay,
And I'd like to
sir.
know why I am, and he's not.
On
He's
the
the
spec
son of the
calendar.
Democratic leader, and he did the same thing that I did. He's New York 55 under the objections. It says in remarks, proof of service attached to specs.
Yes, and
so
he's
why
on our
is
prima facie
he's not
calendar.
on the prima facie?
It is right
no,
here.
ma'am.
Yeah, he's page 3.
NY-55.
On the bottom.
As of last night, he was not listed
Well,
on the prima facie.
this
Jordan
point-
Wright's
And at this
objection.
point,
Irrelevant.
at this point, do you have anything else to say with regard to your violation of H12? Because we need to move on, sir. Mike.
I did read that particular prima facie issue. It was the same
our
issue
calendar.
with the POS attached to the spec.
I think it was the bottom of page 3.
It was.
On,
Okay.
for Jordan Wright's objection, he did it correctly. He did the service, proof of service to the spec and not to the cover sheet. So Jordan Wright did it correctly.
You mean to the
And-
candidate instead of?
Jordan Wright is the objector, objecting to Jonathan Brown.
All right, so on this one, are there any appearances?
Yes, there are, Commissioner, by
Miss
both.
Doty, we have that as attached on the prima facie calendar.
Attached to the spec, defective.
No, but that was the Michael Hanna's
No,
spec was objecting.
it was both. It was spec 55 also.
This was on the calendar, I did see.
But Jordan Wright did it correctly on the prima facie then. It was Michael Hanna who did it incorrectly.
We know, but Mr. Wright appeared on the prima facie calendar.
So, Ms. Doty, was it improperly put on the prima facie calendar for that? If it was served separately, that it shouldn't have been on the prima facie calendar?
That's what I think. That Michael Hanna one should have been on the prima facie. but
It
not
was,
the-
Miss Doty, and we took him off. So are you telling
Right.
us now that it was properly filed and that name shouldn't have been on the,
Yes, the Jordan Wright
she's saying no.
objection. Yeah.
All right, based on Ms. Doty's presentation, I move that we remove the Jordan Wright objection from the prima facie calendar because it was apparently done correctly.
Can I get a second on that, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Going back to the spec, Jordan Wright, Jonathan Brown, do we have any appearances?
There are appearances for both the objector and candidate.
Okay,
For the
thank you.
objector, Darren Marks, and for the candidate, Arthur Schwartz.
Okay. I see Mr. Marks' name. Mr. Schwartz, are you here? Oh, there you are. Okay, Mr.
Yes, I'm here.
Mr. Marks, do you have anything that the commissioner should consider in their determination of this clerk's report?
The
can I speak for the candidate?
After
You
the
will,
spec.
after the objector speaks. Go ahead, Mr. Marks.
I move the report.
Okay. Mr.
Anything to add, Mr.
You-
Schwartz?
Yes, on the prima facie calendar, you struck this specification.
He was out.
So you can't move it if it's been adopted by the board by a unanimous vote to be struck, because it has the same problem that Mr. Hanna
Schwartz,
had.
we can take the candidate off in multiple ways. So is there anything you need to add vis-a-vis the
If
signatures?
The specification was filed improperly. If Mr. Hanna's objections are not on the specification calendar, Mr. Brown, this specification can't be on the specification calendar because you already voted to strike that specification. So to say that you can do it, and Mr. Hanna raised this to you, that the board voted to strike this specification unanimously. It shouldn't have appeared on this calendar unless Mr. Hanna's also should have appeared, and you can consider Mr. Hanna's specification. You can't.
Mr.
interpret
Schwartz,
the same
apparently
rule
the board
ways.
made an error, which we've just corrected.
No, the board didn't
Do
make
you
an
have a
error. No,
list?
that's
Do you
not
have-
true.
Mr. Schwartz, do you have a list to resurrect any of the signatures?
No,
We've
the-
already
Right. Can I get a
decided we're
motion
going
to
hear
move the
spec.
report?
The affidavit was stapled to the specification. That is
But Ms.
exactly
Doty
what
just
happened.
told us it was not. Both
No,
Mr.
she said
Evans and
she
Mr.
thinks maybe
Okay.
it wasn't.
No, I
All right.
Why
have
doesn't
So-
why doesn't somebody produce the
somebody-
original?
it right
Why
here.
doesn't someone produce the original so we can see whether
Ms.
the
Doty,
board
can you
made an
show
error
it
or
to us,
not?
please?
Yes, here it is. So here is the cover sheet. And here is the spec with proof of service attached to the spec, but not attached to the cover sheet. And
That is
Mr.
the
Hanna,
same thing.
the opposite.
So,
Mr. Hanna
Ms. Doty,
attached it.
it actually can't be attached to the spec. You can file a copy of the cover sheet with a copy of the proof of service, but if it's attached to the spec, it was rightfully on the prima facie calendar.
So it's an H-12 violation, the same as Mr.
Thank you,
Hanna.
Mr. Schwartz.
So why does it say proof of service?
I withdraw my motion.
Thank you. Mr. Wright will remain on the prima facie calendar for spec 55. We take a vote on this?
I don't.
Sorry, Mr. Schwartz.
Okay, I don't think we
Good
took
to
a
hear
vote.
from you again.
We did.
New York 55-1, we went over this already. Wright, Brown, County Committee.
So
24
it's now
valid,
off
69.
because of prima facie.
Yep. Okay. Can I get a motion?
We don't, it's.
Oh, it's off. Sorry, we don't need to rule on it.
I move we redo them and restore it to the prima facie
Yeah,
count.
so we don't need to do it.
Man.
Okay. I'm going to move. It's the objections by Gavin Wax, of Catherine Heller, Republican County Committee, 13th AD, 76 AD,